Right now, the U.S. Supreme Court is on the verge of making a decision that could totally reshape the power of the American presidency. And at the heart of it all is one simple but seriously powerful question that we're going to break down right now.
Think about that for a second. Can a single federal judge sitting anywhere in the country basically hit a national pause button on a president's entire agenda? Yep, that's the huge question at the center of this whole legal battle.
So, to get to the answer, we've got to start with the monumental case that's making all this happen, this huge Supreme Court showdown.
And let me be clear, this is about so much more than any one administration. The outcome here is literally going to tip the scales, defining that tricky relationship between the White House and the courts for generations.
Okay, so what is this legal tool that's causing all the controversy? I keep calling it a national pause button, and honestly, that's the best way to think about it.
The official term for it is a nationwide injunction. It's an order from a court that can stop a government policy dead in its tracks. And we're not just talking in one city or one state, we're talking across the entire country. It is an incredibly powerful tool.
And look, this isn't just some dusty old legal theory. This became a major flashpoint during the Trump presidency. We saw judges use these injunctions again and again to block huge policies on things like immigration, healthcare, and environmental regulations. Which, of course, brings us to the core of the whole conflict. Why does the idea of one judge having this much power spark such a firestorm of a debate?
Well, that question leads us straight into two totally different, competing visions of how power should actually work in America.
On one side of the argument, you have legal experts who say these injunctions are an absolutely necessary check on a president's authority. They see it as a vital tool to protect people's rights and stop widespread harm before it happens. But on the other side, critics are calling it massive judicial overreach. They argue it lets one judge completely disrupt the government and create total legal chaos.
So if we look past all the legal arguments, the real-world consequences of this decision are just enormous. So let's get into it. What's really at stake here?
You have to understand, whatever the Supreme Court decides here isn't just about what happened in the past. It will set a powerful precedent that directly hits every single president from here on out, no matter what political party they belong to. So let's break down the two ways this could go. In path number one, the Supreme Court could decide to limit or maybe even get rid of nationwide injunctions completely. If that happens, executive power gets a huge boost, letting future presidents roll out their policies with a lot less fear of being blocked nationwide by a single judge.
Now, on the flip side, there's path number two. The Supreme Court could uphold the power of judges to issue these injunctions. This would double down on the judiciary's role as a strong check on the president, making sure that lower courts get to keep this really powerful tool to challenge what the executive branch does.
You know, to really put a pin in this, a quote from our source material at URBTNews.com just captures the stakes perfectly. This isn't just another case. It's, and I quote, a landmark moment in the ongoing debate about the balance of power in the American government.
So ultimately, this decision forces all of us to think about a question that's right at the very heart of the country's design. And there's definitely no easy answer, but it's one we all have to consider. What is the right balance between a president's power to get things done and a court's power to step in and say, hang on a second?